What role do you guys think social media plays in some of the challenges that people have with self-identity?
The big one that I think social media amplifies is two things. I think is that sort of selective curation. So, and in fact, I meet people who would say that. I will hear them say, "Oh, your Instagram grid is horrible. It's not curated. You're putting a selfie, and no, Instagram grid should have a view and you thinking and you journaling. I don't know, whatever it is, whatever perception you're trying to uphold of this world." And what that reminds me of is actually what we're doing, what technology has caused us to do is basically create smaller, narrower and narrow microsomes of our own internal state. That idea of having a curated Instagram grid, and now with this metaverse and virtual reality where I could pretend and be whatever I want to be, goes all the way back to the nafs and the ego, which builds the self-image about us. I want people to think James is the intellectual one. James is the bearded guy. James is the serious guy. James is these like, and then I worked really hard throughout my life to uphold that image. And that is not who I am truly. But it's an image that I've constructed, it's a narrative, it's a character that I need to uphold. So to me, that social media has that curation and sort of that idea of upholding an image, and it's exhausting. It's exhausting in your own mind, and then it becomes even more exhausting when you have to do it also in this physical digital world, I guess. But the main one is comparisons, right? Like just you comparing yourself to somebody else's feed and you wishing for what somebody else had. When Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala tells us in the Quran, do not wish for what was written for another man. Why did Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala tell us that? Or even when Qarun, who had, he was a celebrity of his time with all his riches, and people wished they had what Qarun was given, and people told him, why are you wishing for that? Then, of course, the earth swallows him, right? And so I think that idea of comparing and wishing for what others have, thinking that if only I got what they had, I would be happy, I would be successful, it just perpetuates that. There's the hadith of the Prophet ﷺ where, he says, if you say, what if only if you are opening a door to the shaitan. In my opinion, that also means if only, you'd say it the other way around, if only I had this. Oh, that's also a door for the shaitan to manipulate us and do things. That's another common misunderstanding is about the shaitan. People think the shaitan is this magician who could make things appear and disappear. Where no, all the shaitan does, he knows us very well. He knows how our ego works. And all he does is points our attention to those insecurities in our ego. Shaitan can't go and create, if he knows that, oh, I'm attracted to women, create a woman and bring her to me or whatever. No, that's not how it works. The shaitan, all he does is just whispers because he knows already where your nafs is inclining to and tries to push you down that path. And so comparisons and wishing if only I had what she has and then my life will be dandy is probably one of the biggest threats, I think, of social media.
I might want to say how there can be benefits to social media, and you have the opportunity to have more access to people who inspire you or to content that makes you feel good. And so if you can be mindful of that in your social media consumption and not just use it as the virtual water cooler where everyone's gathering around complaining, and now you're doing that virtually too, gathered around complaining, to use it as you know what, at my job it is a bunch of negativity and Debbie Downers and all of that stuff, but here online, I can connect with people who are inspiring, who are doing great work, who are moving in the direction that I want to move, and curate that space for yourself. So this, includes, just muting people, right? You may not be able to unfollow some of family and friends, but you could just mute them and say, I'm sorry, I didn't see your post. But if they're bringing you down, keep it out of your life, right? We hear so often about lower your gaze and guard your modesty and all of this. But part of lowering your gaze is not looking upon things that are going to bring you down. So if seeing people's complaining and negativity is bringing you down, cut it out of your gaze, exit, remove it, right? If you know that you get triggered or you get comparison from this one person, don't follow them anymore. But also explore why you get triggered, because the trigger will come in another form. You can't avoid it, but you can create through social media. You can use it in a beautiful way. And that's how I've come to more appreciate my own Instagram account, Practical Muslim. The community there of people who follow me are interested in self-development work, interested in Islamic spirituality, the discussions that we have, like the messages that we send in DM, make me feel good. I feel good in that space. And I have several other people that I follow online that I like. I love to read their content. I love to hear what they have to share. And I send them messages, and I like their work, and I tell them that I like it. So you have that opportunity as well. Again, everything is but intention. Everything can either be a tool to rise you up or to pull you down. If someone is approaching social media like, oh my God, it's the worst, it's just people being vain, taking random pictures, it's just a whole bunch of selfies, that's what they'll find, and that's what they'll see, and they'll make no use of it. And when they come onto it, it'll give them nothing, and they will give nothing, and they will get nothing. But if you're like, you know what, there's this person that I follow who lives in another country, in another state, and without this tool, I would have no reason to connect with them and engage with them. And now I can. It can be something totally different for that person. Like, wow, I've created this community. I only follow these people. And when I get onto my feed, like, it gives me hope. It inspires me. It lights me up. So there's possibility there. And essentially, this is the same with all aspects of life. We can either look at things as bad and harmful and the problems in it, or we can look for where is the beauty, the hope, the love within it. And you will find what you look for.
And even, in the Quran, right? Like the alcohol, khamr al-maisir, right? The wine and the gambling are bad for you, but they may have benefits as well, right? Like anything can have a benefit the way you look at it. And the one thing that I'll say about Muslims in general that I've seen is that people have used social media as a sort of like a virtual voyeurism, where basically you're spying on other Muslims who are doing bad things. I want to see, oh, is that girl dating that guy? Oh, how dare she? How could she call herself a Muslim? She's dating. And you'll go and like you obsessively look for people's shortcomings on social media, right? To somehow make ourselves feel better. And if you find yourself doing that, then definitely muting and unfollowing is definitely the cure, because that is harming you more than them. You are drinking the poison hoping they would die, right? That's what's happening there. And so please be vigilant about what you expose to your eyes and your ears and your heart ultimately on social media. But indeed, it can be also a wonderful tool when used with the right intention and the right consciousness, and being aware of these blocks and using it as a tool. Like Azara mentioned, if I am jealous of this brother because XYZ, why is that? It's not about the person, it's about me. What is it saying about me? Why am I jealous about this guy who exercises all the time or is very fit or has beautiful children or whatnot? What is it saying about me? And digging deeper again. That's really the tool that we have is our attention, right? That's what we say, pay attention, right? It is the greatest currency. So if I could turn that attention from the social media, from the screen, like this awareness that, I am feeling triggered about this, and I turn that attention inward, then it's a great tool.
Yeah, but probably across the board in general is everyone should reduce their social media time.